So today we want to go into the issue which came up during the week. Professor Jonathan Moyo revealed that this flag movement was a project of Mnangagwa. Did you see that tweet?
I did. I saw that tweet, yes. Thank you.
Okay, how did you feel about that? Were you aware of this?
Yes, I was aware of this. I had always been telling people exactly the same thing, that, you see, there are people who hijack certain things. There are people who do certain things because they are on a mission. And I knew that Pastor Ivan Mawarire was a faction of ZANU-PF, and that I knew. Yes, he was opposed to Mugabe, but he was on a mission that he had been sent by one faction of ZANU, which happens to be a faction under Emmerson Mnangagwa. That I knew. I knew that Ivan Mawarire was related to Mnangagwa to some extent. And that revelation by Professor Jonathan Moyo never was not a surprise to me, because I knew.
Okay, what are the implications? Because the spokesman of Nelson Chamisa's party was also a key leader in this flag. Was she also a project of Mnangagwa?
Of course, I think you are aware that she at one point she was campaigning for Mnangagwa. That is clear, unless there are people who do not know that. And not only that, but also that her father was a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Higher Education for a very long time. You cannot become a permanent secretary if you are not part of the state security. And she is a product. She is a child of ZANU-PF. And for her to turn against ZANU today, I would be surprised if she's genuinely against ZANU. Yes, she has got right to be wherever she wants, but at that time, I am quite sure that she was part of ZANU-PF, and she once worked as a campaign manager for Mnangagwa. And when she was part of this flag, they were supporting, or they were working for a faction of ZANU, which is Lacoste. And this is why they kept quiet just after Mnangagwa had taken over. When Mnangagwa was in South Africa, when he ran away from Zimbabwe to South Africa, he was holding meetings with Ivan Mawarire and the like. So I'm not surprised that she is part of the Lacoste team. And now that she's saying she's now opposed to Lacoste, yes, it's possible for people to change, but then it means she might have just changed recently. And so, I mean, it's not surprising. The people of Zimbabwe should be very careful of projects. There are so many people who are, double standards. And as long as we have those people, and the people of Zimbabwe entertain them, I don't know, but we seem to have, problems. The opposition politics in Zimbabwe is now, I don't know what to say, but is clouded by these fake people who come in, who get paid. I'm sure some people know within Tajamuka leadership there, part of them, they are projects. And now, we now have something else coming. I am not opposed to anyone who has got a genuine, concern, who has got a genuine movement that is meant to remove ZANU-PF. But as long as there are people who come in, like chameleons, then I'm totally against that. Because we don't have to fool our people. The people of Zimbabwe genuinely need change. And change must come. Change cannot come when people are fake. I don't know. So there are a lot of fake people. I'm not saying Ivan Mawarire is bad. I'm not saying that. But this flag was working for Emmerson Mnangagwa. And they achieved their objectives. Mnangagwa is in. So they achieved, that's why they kept quiet. So the people of Zimbabwe, this should not be a surprise. This is something that everybody should know.
So, Mr. Matapo, how do we know that someone is a project?
It's very difficult to know, of course, but people have to use their conscience. People have to use their sixth senses. People have to find out, should trace. Don't forget that in the 90s or late 80s, there was this formation of Zoom by Edgar Teken. That was a typical project, and a lot of signs were seen. But up to date, some people still refuse. They say, no, Tekere was genuine. And yet he was not. Yes, Kombai was shot in Gweru. Kombai was shot and they wanted to, CIO wanted to kill him. That does not mean that this was not a project. No. The same applies. What is happening now, the people who are calling for 31 July demonstration, I'm not against that demonstration. But as long as it's a demonstration that is not well planned and well calculated so that people don't get killed for nothing, then I'm opposed to it. As I see it, there are a lot of fake people in it. A lot of the so-called planners in it are not genuine, they are fake. I know, and yes, it is difficult for people to know, but people of Zimbabwe should listen, should trace the history of each and every other person who gets in front of them and say, I am here working for you. Otherwise, you get fooled and you get, so the 31 July demonstration, I don't know. I'm not opposed to it. But some of the planners who are in it, be careful, people of Zimbabwe, be careful of those people. Because you'll be used and you get shot. ZANU-PF is trying to come up with a mock drill, so that they do a controlled demonstration as if it's genuine. So that when a genuine demonstration really comes, they are able to quash it. They are able to crush it because they would have, done a mock drill, a practice. This is going to be used as just a drill, and people will be killed. People will be arrested because it is like a fire drill where people practice before the actual fire comes. This is what they want to do. They want to practice and see how they are going to act should a genuine demonstration comes, and they know it is coming, and so they want to practice. So there you are.
Right, Mr. Matapo, this is very difficult to hear, especially the fact that people that we look at and think they want change, they are actually working against change. Why do you think someone like Chamisa would agree to work with someone like Advocate Fadzai Mahere, who has now been revealed to have been working with the project of ZANU-PF? Why would you agree to such a thing? Does he not have intelligence that can tell him that these people that you are now appointing were working as projects?
Well, that's why I said I don't want to say Advocate Fadzai Mahere today is working for ZANU. I don't want to say that. But I only want to confirm that she was working for ZANU in the past. So whether she has changed completely now, because people can change and start working genuinely. So she might have changed, and Advocate Chamisa might have seen changes in her, and that she's no longer part of ZANU. Yes, that is possible. So I really don't know, but the point is, she was working for ZANU in the past. She was a project of Lacoste together with Pastor Ivan Mawarire. That's why this flag movement just disappeared just after Mnangagwa was elected. Mnangagwa took over through that coup.
Okay, I think we have covered this topic, but I want to ask you to kindly speak to our Shona audience in the raw areas, for our WhatsApp audience, about the 31 July demonstration.
Ndinotenda zvangu. Vana veZimbabwe ndinokukumbirisai kwese kwese kwamungadaro muri. Inini ndinotsigira zvikuru chese chinhu chinoita kuti ZANU ibve, nekuti ndinoda kuona ZANU ichibva kuti vana veZimbabwe mugare zvakanaka. Vana veZimbabwe vari kutambura kwese kwese, kungava kuUK, kungava kuSouth Africa, kungava kuEurope, kungava kuAmerica, kwese kwese vana veZimbabwe vari kutambudzika zvikuru. Asi dambudziko rataita vana veZimbabwe nderekuti paita matsotsi azara. Because I'm not against vanhu vanotora idea yandakatanga nayo ini ye people power, handisi against, nekuti inini I don't own idea yacho, haizi yangu, idea yeruzhinji. Asi chiripo chinondirwadza ndechekuti kana vanhu vakatora idea yaunenge watanga voiita nenzira isiyo, fanika ipapapa. Izvozvi zvatiri kutaura kudai, vana veZimbabwe muri kugadzirirwa 31 July. Chokwadi muchaona, muchanditenda, muchandifunga. Vachabuda havo, budai, handisi kukurambidzai. Asi ndiri kuti hatidi chinhu chinodeura ropa muchinyeberwa nevanhu vanenge vasiri genuine. Ropa richadeuka asi pasina chinobuda. Ropa kana rikanzi radeuka asi pobuda chinobuda, vanhu vanoti okay, yes, ava vasacrifice. But hatisingafaniri kuti tiwane ropa rinodeuka. Taida kuti vana veZimbabwe vasununguke pasina ropa rinodeuka. Mnangagwa haana kuvhoterwa muna 2018, akaruza, akatsotsa ma-elections, ndozviziva, ndinotenda. Asi ngatirege kushandisa violence, ngatirege kushandisa kudeuka kweropa, nekuti mwana achadeurwa ropa ndewani? Ko anoda kufa wacho ndiyani? Ndati ini Zimbabwe People Power Movement ine gwara, ine nzira yakanaka ichasunungura vana veZimbabwe mugore rino. Asi zvinoda kuti tibatane tiite chinhu chimwe chete. Zvino kana pakaita vamwe vanohaijeka, vanobata pakati, vongotanga kuti takutoita, itai henyu signal yacho. Asi haibatsiri. 31 July ari kusvika, signal yavachapa ichaurayisa vana veZimbabwe. Ivo voti aiwa, taedzawo kuti zviite. Chiri kuitwa apa zvine ZANU mukati, ruoko rweZANU rurimo pakuronga demonstration yemusi wa31. Vari kuitira kuti vadzidzire kuti kana demonstration yechokwadi youya, vanenge vadzidzira. Ndozvavari kuita. Saka izvozvi mayouth eZANU ataura kuti hatisi kuzomira, tichaita against vanenge vachida kurwisa Mnangagwa and what have you. Saka vana veZimbabwe, vana anoda kuurayiwa ndeupiko. Ina handisi kuti musaende kudemonstration yemusi wa31, handisi against it, asi ndiri against chinhu chinoita kuti vana veZimbabwe vaurayiwe pasina chinobuda. Ndizvo here zvatiri kuda isu vana veZimbabwe? Ndizvozvo here? Muri kunzi imimi kana maurayiwa imimi inoitwa zvamuchaitwa musi wa31, musi uchauya genuine demonstration, mucharamba kubuda nekuti munenge makuti tigonourayiwa zvatakaitwa paya. Saka ndo zviripo. Regai kuitwa maguinea pigs, regai kushandiswa kuti imi vamwe vazadze homwe dzavo nemari, vamwe vagove nekuda kwokuti vanenge vachiti I don't know, mukatarisa vazhinji varimo, maorganizers, maprojects aMnangagwa vari kutoshandiswa. Mnangagwa pachake aripo pademonstration iyoyi, asi vanoita kuti vaite controlled, inenge iri controlled. Kana yaitwa controlled, then imi muchagutsikana zvandiri kutaura izvi. Vane pfungwa 5 vachatenderana neni musi wa31 July kuti Matapo akazvitaura izvi, hapana chinobuda. Saka ina handidi kuti mushandiswe pasina chinobuda. Ndivenge henyu vanogona kundivenga, ndivenge henyu, asi ndoda kuprotecta vana veZimbabwe. Handidi kuti vana veZimbabwe vatambure for nothing. Zimbabwe People Power Movement iri kuuya kuzokusunungurai, ende tokusunungurai pasina ropa richadeuka. Tiri kuzokusunungurai vana veZimbabwe, tiripo. pakusunungura vana veZimbabwe. Ndatenda hangu.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Matapo. I think let's wrap it up here so that our WhatsApp audience can get it, and we need to keep our file very, very small. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Ndinongoda kuti vana veZimbabwe sainai petition yatakatumidzira kwese kwese kwamuri, isainei petition iyoyo mukasaina that petition, sign that petition, the people of Zimbabwe. Once you sign that petition, everything will flow. Everything is going to flow. We have got a super method of removing ZANU, of taking power from ZANU and give it to the people of Zimbabwe. We will form a national transitional council which is going to run the affairs of our country for a certain period as we level the ground. And that ground will be leveled for a free and fair election to take place. We are going to have a political wing with very few politicians and a council that is made up of technocrats and of people who have experience of work. And the government of Zimbabwe is going to be run in a professional manner. We have got a list of investors that are following us. Tinema investors vari kuda kuuya kuzotibatsira kusumudza nyika yedu. Vana veZimbabwe uchine mukaka uchayerera munyika medu. Rugare rwauya, ZPPM oye, rugare rwauya. Ndatenda hangu.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Matapo. We'll talk to you again very, very soon.
Thank you.